In this video, I'm going to show you how to build your own iOS app fully with DeepSeek. So you'll need only two things. You need Xcode and DeepSeek over here, and you could do everything and build your own iOS app. Also, don't forget to check out my free guide in the description to see how I created a fully working iOS app with ChatGPT. So the first thing you want to do is actually go inside the App Store and download Xcode. So you want to click the App Store and search Xcode. You find it, it's going to be the first item inside this list. You download it. I already have it installed, so in my case, I'll just open it. Now that you have it opened, you want to click create a new project. When the window comes up, you want to click on iOS over here and then click on app. And then you click next. You want to name your app. So for this, let's just name it Test YouTube. For the team, for now, let's just keep it as none. For the organization identifier, just write your name for now. Make sure that you click SwiftUI, and for the rest, keep it as it is. Then save your app somewhere that makes sense. Okay, cool. Now that you saved your project, you should have something similar to this. In a couple of seconds, you should be seeing an iPhone on the right. And here it is, the iPhone, and it's saying hello world. Just to see that everything works. Hello Mansoor. I wrote my own name and I could see the code actually reflect on the iPhone preview. Great, now everything works. What you want to do is actually minimize this and go inside DeepSeek. So over here, we want to find an app idea, and what I like to do is basically this. There is a place where you could find public APIs, and APIs are basically a system that gives you information to keep it very simple. So if you need information about the weather, you're going to get that information from an API. And this list over here has all the APIs publicly available for developers. So what you want to do is actually go inside the README over here and then click on the code. I'm just going to make this bigger. So you click on code and then you want to copy this entire thing. And you could either Command A or click this copy raw file, which copies everything into your clipboard. So then you go back into DeepSeek and then you should write something like, hey, help me create an iOS app that will solve a problem. So that's the key thing. When creating an iOS app, you want to make sure that it's solving a problem. It's not just another random iOS app that doesn't do anything. If you want to build an iOS app that can actually generate you revenue, then you need to solve a problem for the user. So over here, we want to create an iOS app that will solve a problem using one of the public APIs in this repo. So I'm going to paste in everything, and we're not going to check the DeepSeek R1 because if we check it and the text is too long, then it's going to have troubles actually responding. So we're going to keep it with the simple chat and click send. Now it's going to actually take some time to actually understand what we're saying. We also pasted a lot of text, so it needs some time to process everything. So just in a couple of seconds, we're going to get a list of app ideas using the APIs we just provided. So over here, AI is now generating us the app ideas. As you can see, a weather-based app ID, a currency converter, a stock market tracker. So there's a lot of good app ideas here. We're gonna let the AI finish. Okay, as you can see, we have a lot of app ideas, 10 specifically. So as we can see, it lists us an API that it's using and then the problem and the solution. For example, first one, API weather stack. The problem, people often struggle to decide what to wear based on the weather. Solution, the app fetches real-time weather data, temperature, condition using the weather stack API and suggests appropriate outfits, jacket for cold weather, umbrella for rain. Pretty cool app idea. Let's pin this one. Currency converters for travelers. I'm not going to read everything, but it's using the fixer API. I'm assuming basically converting currencies from one currency to the other. You know what? Let's go with the first one. Let's keep it simple for this tutorial. It actually solves a problem and it's a pretty simple solution that we could code in this tutorial. So let's ask it to go with the first one. Let's go with the first idea. I am building an iOS app. Code this project for me from scratch. Think everything step by step. And now we could actually check the R1 for it to actually think deeper and give us some good code. So now the R1 model is actually thinking it through and actually writing the code for us for the entire thing. As you can see, it builds the views, the view models. You don't really have to think about these too much, but it's really good to know what the AI is doing. And as you write more code and as you use AI, you will get more comfortable with these terminologies. So what we want to do is actually go step by step by what the AI is telling us. So step 1, project setup, which we have done. We have created a new project. Step 2, sign up at WeatherStack to get an API key. So let's click this link and then click start using the API. We're going to go with the free plan. Then after you filled up everything, just click I'm not a robot and sign up. Okay, cool. Now that you signed up on the WeatherStack, you just click the visit dashboard. And then here's your API key. Okay, cool. Now that we signed up and we actually have the API key, let's go and actually start copying all the files that DeepSeek created for us. Okay, now that we copied everything, we can actually see the preview change inside Xcode. So if you go inside your content view, you will see that we have a new looking app in the preview. So let's try something over here. If I click something, the preview crashed. Okay, we need to know the reason. If we click this bubble over here, API key not found. Makes sense. Because we are using an API, remember we have to paste in the API key that we created before. So if you go back into DeepSeek, it's actually telling us to create an API's key.plist file to store your keys securely. So let's do this. Go inside Xcode, create new file. So you want to scroll down and find the property list file. You click this and then let's name it as API keys.plist. Then click create. Then we have this over here. What we want to do is just click this button over here. And so inside DeepSeek, if we actually look at what the code is doing, we see that WeatherStack API key is what we actually need to copy, and then go inside Xcode, rename this item, and then go on the WeatherStack API and then actually copy our API key. Now let's try it again. If you click on content view and try it again, let's write Paris and then try it out. Then we can actually see things working. So the app is actually calling the API using our API key. It's telling us the weather right now, which is 5 degrees Celsius. And the recommended outfit is a warm coat, a sweater, and a scarf. So we have a fully working app just in a couple of clicks using DeepSeek. Now for the final touch, let's actually modify the app design. Let's go back into DeepSeek and actually tell us to make the design look better. Can you make the app look nicer with a cleaner, modern look? And now R1 is going to think for us, what does it mean to make the app nicer? And now DeepSeek R1 is generating code for us with a cleaner looking design. So DeepSeek just finished generating the new code. Supposedly this should be a better design. So let's copy everything and go back inside Xcode. So inside our content view, let's replace everything. And if we paste it in, now Xcode is actually rethinking. Okay, so the design is actually looking a lot nicer. Let's write something, Paris, get recommendation. Wow, okay, this is much nicer than what we had. This is really impressive because this design is all made by an AI. This is looking like a production level app that you could find on the App Store. So the final thing, you actually want to run your app on an iPhone. And what you could do that is actually click the play button over here to run it on an iPhone simulator. While there's a bug over here with the label, let's just ignore it for now. If we click get recommendation, then we see the same thing. And we could even try other cities. Let's try my city, Montreal. Yeah, Montreal is pretty cold. And as you can see, it's -11. It feels like -18. And the outfit recommendation, a heavy coat, gloves, and thermal layers. That's pretty accurate for where I live. So that's it. You built a full iOS app, and not just an iOS app, a really nice looking iOS app. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.